What's up, Wargamers? We are back. It's been a long time no see, but we are back in the saddle again. We've got another video for you here today. So right now, GenCon's going on. Those big nerds down in Indianapolis are having fun, shopping on the gaming floor, playing in different tournaments and whatnot, getting to meet some people in the gaming industry. But I'm not there because I've been working my tail off, and that's why I haven't been bringing you guys videos. But I just wanted to give you an update and also dive into some stuff because I've been kind of parlaying the hobby a little bit for the last month or so. As you know, I haven't been producing new videos, but felt like there was a lot leading up to it. And we're still in this waiting game of things coming out. We're still waiting on Adeptus Titanicus. We're still waiting on Kill Team, although that's basically here. So there's still a few things like still rolling out, and obviously Q3 and Q4 for Games Workshop are going to be quite strong. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but you know, back in my day job, I do a lot of video editing, a lot of video production, things like that. I've been traveling around. I've been shooting a new show, so that has been keeping me quite occupied. Going from a state of being continually broke with bills paid to hopefully, you know, getting a step ahead. That way I can buy some more of these awesome contents, put some more cases back here in the old hobby den, the hobby bunker. But just, I don't know if I ever really told you guys, but my name's Steve, so go by Budget Wargamer here, only on my YouTube channel. I swear I don't make people call me that in my real life. But yeah, so I'm Steve. Comment your real name below if you want to introduce yourself. I'd like to get to know as many of the 864 of you as there are still around, but we are making a big push towards 1,000. So even in my absence, thanks to you guys, we've been able to grow a little bit. So we've picked up some more followers here on the channel. We are still making our way to 1,000 subscribers. We did not hit it in July like I originally thought, but shame on me for basically not publishing any videos in July. So enough of the doling around. Let's dive into what I wanted to talk about. And it's just really a little bit of show and tell. So here on the Warhammer community website, you should be stoked for Kill Team. Now, had I known that it was going to be Genestealer Cults and Adeptus Mechanicus, I probably wouldn't have bought this box of Genestealer Cults, but I digress. But they're still fun. I've still only put the one model together with this shameful head. It's an Anvil Industry head. I don't really like the fit, so I've had so many other hobby things going on. I've been working with my kid on some of the Dark Imperium starter set contents. He's doing the Ultramarines. I'm doing the Nurgle there, but I'm helping him, of course, with his, because he's just a second grader. Just started second grade, so kids are back in school already here in Arizona at most places. So that is weird because it's way too early. They started at the end of July. But let's take a look here. House Cawdor, their models are coming out now. So they're on pre-order from Games Workshop for Necromunda. And these are an odd bunch, but they probably would make a cool kill team in Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team, so hopefully they do a good crossover just like they did of some of the things into Necromunda, such as the Genestealer Cults. Hopefully they'll do a crossover and allow some of these Necromunda gangs to be able to be played in Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team. That would be fantastic. Still waiting on some news to come out on, of course, that Rogue Trader game, the one that has the awesome Nurgle type models and the Imperial Navy models and things like that. But here's the new Gang War 4 book, and of course that would include some new rules for probably all the gangs, but also introduce the new House Cawdor if you're looking at picking those guys up. There was also a Tactica on how to play them, so if you guys are interested in those, these are some pretty sweet models. They're quite a bit different than some of the other Imperial type models, and these guys could make like a cool cultist, counts as, or something like that. You know, these could even be modified to be some type of Dark Mechanicus, things like that. So these guys would be a lot of fun with they're kind of like the they remind me of Waterworld. They're also like Junkers, that sort of thing. But these guys are a cool faction here in there. So they're coming out. There's obviously a lot more coming out too. If we look at the board game Bonanza, look at all the different companies that are now in on the intellectual property of Games Workshop. So this last year, I believe, is the biggest financial boon for Games Workshop. Profits up like something like 200% in 2018 so far. I think that's what I had heard. But if you look at what they're doing with their intellectual property, here they are making that money through so many other manufacturers that are not Games Workshop. So here we've got a Steve Jackson's game of Munchkin Warhammer 40,000. So that's official. There's so many more. I'm still drooling over Adeptus Titanicus. I really hope to see a lot of people pick up this game. I also hope that it's quite different. Obviously, being in a completely different scale, it better be a good game, or else we're going to be stuck with a bunch of tiny terrain with very little uses. Now, this Battle for Pelennor Fields is, to me, is like a reboot of some of the older sets that came out for Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. So when I take a look at it now, it's called Middle-earth strategy battle game because, of course, they include more of the books of J.R.R. Tolkien. But we have the Riders of Rohan here. We have Warriors of Rohan, it looks like, on foot, and then the Ghost King's Army. Those are previously released models, and I think we're receiving... I forget his name. It's been so many years since I've seen the Lord of the Rings, but it looks like we're getting a character, probably in plastic. We're also getting a cave troll, some orcs, and these just look like different types of orcs. Actually, I don't think any of those are Uruk-hai. But then you're getting a fell beast here. So this is actually, looks like these two here could be completely new. I don't know if the cave troll's new in plastic, as I haven't really been keeping up with the strategy battle game for a long time. But I played it in the first 3 releases of the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game, back when I worked at Games Workshop for sure. Now we've got Whiz Kids picking up on Dice Masters, so this is interesting. So Dice Masters, I've never played it, but apparently you play the cards and you have to roll dice to get certain combinations to be able to use their abilities. So this is different than the Star Wars card and dice game, but somewhat of a similar concept, just vastly different. And that's not to be confused with the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions that are also coming out here. Let me tilt that monitor up just a little bit, see a little bit less of what's going on down here. Doomseeker, that's getting picked up by Ninja Division, so there's a completely different company that I don't think has touched any of the Games Workshop IP. So that's another one they're letting out. That's what I'm picking up. I'm looking on the B2B side of this stuff. Games Workshop's being very clever to put the production costs and everything into these other third parties and basically get a license fee, I would presume, if not a profit share or profit share on top of that. We have another company that's actually building the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions. I did sign up on their website to be able to pick that up, but that is powered by PlayFusion, so that's another company that's in there, and I've never heard of PlayFusion before. Perhaps you guys have. Warhammer Wrath of Glory, and I don't think Games Workshop prints this one either. I forget if that one is printed by Fantasy Flight or if that's another manufacturer that prints that out there. Gretchen's is done by a company I've never heard of called Dever, if I pronounce that even right, but it looks like a fun game. It kind of reminds me of the Orc Buggy Races game I created back with my friends when Necromunda was out, but it's a card-based type of game of racing and killing each other and probably just overall hilarity. And then let's take a look. Space Marine Adventures. This one I think is produced by Games Workshop, and this one we've talked about briefly before. But these are unique plastic models. There's 5 characters, and then of course there's going to be Necrons in here that we've seen before, Necron Immortals, things like that, that will be your standard Necron Immortals. But these are Space Marine heroes that I don't even think were released in the Japanese Space Marine Heroes game. You're getting an Ultramarines character, an Imperial Fist character, Salamander's character, a Space Wolf character, and I believe a Blood Angels character. Those are unique models to this box set, which will make Space Marine Adventures a probably go-to collectible, if not at least a eBay grab as people go and split these boxes up for some profit. So I think this is made by Games Workshop, although I don't see their logo anywhere here on the box, but it'd be hard to picture them licensing that out to somebody else with unique models at least. And now they're redoing Blood Bowl and coming up with what I would consider to be like Dungeon Bowl. If you remember that, came out in a White Dwarf a long time ago. And by a long time ago, I mean like the late 90s probably. But Dungeon Bowl was a fast-paced, play in a dungeon sort of version of Blood Bowl. This looks like it's kind of similar. It's a shorter pitch or field, if you will, if you're in the U.S. like me. So it's like Blood Bowl light. And it's going to include a different size force and stuff like that, allow people to get into the game a lot faster with lighter rules. So that'll be packaged up here as well. So this is definitely something weird. Here's a Lord of the Rings game, and I don't know who's producing this one. I don't know the point of it, but I think the whole point is to probably get all the way to the mountain and throw the ring in there. Who is producing that game? But there's a lot more games that are actually coming out. So Just comment below which one of these is actually the most interesting to you. I would have to say for me, Adeptus Titanic is by far. After that, probably Space Marine Adventures, just for the unique models. But would just like to hear your thoughts on that. Obviously, stay tuned here to Budget Wargamer. I hope to be back in the regular production schedule to be doing a couple videos a week. I do apologize to my dearest fans for missing out on me, but feel free to drop me comments at any time and introduce yourselves, and let's get to this 1,000. In lieu of the new starter boxes, we were going to be giving away a Blood and Thunder starter box for Age of Sigmar. Now that they've got the new starter boxes out, the lighter versions of the starter box, we'll probably opt to do those because Blood and Thunder may actually be out of production. So just stay tuned, and we got about 135 more people to go. That's a small number. We'll get to it here shortly on the channel.